welcome back to Inside Boxing's Throwdown. I'm Aurelio Martinez, Steven Johnson, and for this first segment, Steve, we're going to recap this weekend's fight. Now, of course, you know, everyone expected the Canelo rematch with Triple G. Didn't happen. Yeah. They had Vanes Matrosian come in and they did that. And HBO also highlighted for the first time ever a female boxing match. Okay, we're going to talk about that too. Okay, we started talking about that last week, and we're gonna finish up to see where our predictions and our thoughts and how they lie. Okay, but anyhow, let's talk about last week's fights and your thoughts on the main event. Everyone wants to hear about that.
Well, wait a minute. Before we get to the main event, I want to talk about the undercard, because we mentioned the undercard last week, and two of the fights that we mentioned, the first one was where we had.
Man, you backwards, man. People out there listening, they don't want to hear about that.
No, yes, they do. Now, let me tell you. First of all, we talked about Ryan Blue Chip Martin, who's 22 and
okay, my fault. I thought you was going to jump right in.
I'm going to talk about that, but anyway.
You take away the
Ryan Martin just dominated former my guy, you know, Breeus, Brady, the Conqueror. He called himself the Amir Khan Conqueror, you know.
Well, that's his.
Well, he got beat up, and it was really interesting because we had said last week that one thing we know about Prescott is if you can be standing with that belt in the 6th round, you can beat him. He's done now because Ryan Martin wasted no time, and he knocked him down 3 or 4 times, and you know, but I guess if you're gonna say to his credit, you know, it went the distance. It was just a dominating, you know, unanimous decision for Ryan Martin. I don't know if you want to even count that as defining anything, but I think that shows that British Prescott is done. Now let's get to this women's fight that Aurelio last week. You guys remember he said it was going to be boring, and it was obviously none of that. That was a co-feature event of the fight card last night in the. Well, you know what? Let me back up. Because let's first, for a hot second, let's talk about over at the O2 Arena in England yesterday, where they had, you know...
That's right, we had David Haye.
And Tony Bellew. They fought, and, you know, and once again, Bellew did the same thing he did a year and a half ago. Stopped, but this time it was such a dominating performance. I think David Haye's done. And you've been saying you thought David Haye was done, but I think last night it just ended it.
Honestly, I think David Haye never was, okay? He just had the gift of being a loudmouth, and he had the gift of being able to promote his fights. Okay, but as far as being up there in the same level of Wilder or Joshua or Parker, or anything, he never really got up to that thing. But he did know how to promote his fights. Yes. You know, with the pushing and the fighting and the yelling and breaking bottles and throwing things over. He did have a way of doing that. Okay, but. So to his credit, you know.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because after the fight, I think any one of you who watched the weigh-ins, you saw the same thing that Bellew saw. And after the fight, he said, "Hey," he said, "we took off our robes," and he said, "This guy had a 6-pack and he was looking good." He said, and I told him. I said, "Hey," and this is something we didn't know, but he said, "I told him, man, you're beautiful." You're beautiful. And he said, "But tomorrow night I'm gonna put hands on you." So that was pretty cool, I thought, because hey, you know, I think if anybody looked at the way you saw, you just looked at Haye, you would say, "Oh man," and Haye was the favorite.
Yeah,
you know, just like he was last time.
Yeah.
He was the favorite, but Bellew's got his number. And only thing a little bit concerning is Bellew after the fight. He said, you know, he'll fight Tyson Fury right now. He said he doesn't want to wait on him, and I agree with that. But then he said if Andre Ward wants to come out of retirement, he'll get him, because he said he'll knock out Ward. This goes back to when, you know, Andre Ward, before he retired, you know, Bellew was cruiserweight champion, and Andre Ward, you know, refused to fight him. So I don't know. He's kind of all over the place.
Was he indicating that he would drop down back to cruiserweight to
fight?
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
No question.
Wow.
You know, but we know Andre Ward's not going to come out of retirement.
Why should he?
Exactly. And Tyson Fury's not going to fight him right now. Tyson Fury thinks he's got bigger fish to fry.
He does.
Okay, so we'll see. But Bellew made a good, you know, he showed that he's somebody to be dealt with.
You know, Bellew needs to try to work his way into fighting Parker, because Parker came off a loss, and Parker has to crawl his way back up into that.
That's a good one.
Into that thing. So that would make a good fight. The winner of that puts himself back into the mix with the heavyweights, and that would be a good one.
I agree. That's a good one, man. Okay, now back to the over at the StubHub Center in California yesterday when we had Cecilia Braekhus. She defeated Kelly Reis to retain her WBA, WBC, WBO, and IBF welterweight world titles.
Yeah.
Now this fight was exciting. Kelly Reis actually dropped Cecilia Braekhus once, wobbled her legs. I mean, looked like she was in trouble, but Cecilia came back and won by unanimous decision. As you remember last week, I bet Aurelio a steak sandwich from the Columbine that this fight was going to be exciting. He still stands by that it wasn't exciting, it was boring. You have the floor.
Well, I'm telling you, it was a very, very, very good fight. If it was a club fight, okay. If you're sitting in the club, if you're watching it at a neighborhood bar or something like that, then it made an entertaining fight. Okay, but to be on worldwide HBO type fight, no. I mean, it was a good amateur style type fight, and that's what women boxing has become, and
wow.
that's what it is. Okay.
Wow.
I mean, if you, I know you like Braekhus and good. I've never really seen him fight, so I was interested. So I was going to watch him fight because I wanted to see what all the hoopla was about. Well, the hoopla was not there. Okay, it was basically a woman's fight that you see at USA boxing tournaments. Okay.
Oh boy.
I mean, here they fought with big balloon gloves. Okay, 2-minute rounds. And it was just one of them fights where it was entertaining. It was entertaining. I mean, I'll give you that. It was entertaining. But as far as a prize fight, it got a long way to go. A long way to go because you're talking champions. You're talking about undisputed champions. Now, when you talk about undisputed champions, you want to see domination. You want to see technique. You want to see hurt when they hit you. And I'm telling you, it was a good amateur USA boxing style fight. Okay.
I think
as a matter of fact, what I meant to say was, if you like Braekhus and how you do, then you must really love Marlon Esparza because they're both fight jumping beans. I mean, they fight on their feet. They throw punches while they're off the ground. They don't set on their punches. They just jumping beans. And it was good because yesterday was Cinco de Mayo. So, you got a jumping bean in there. So good. It was entertaining. I'll give you that. It was entertaining.
Editor at InsideBoxing.com.
It was entertaining.
Please help me out here. Editor at InsideBoxing.com.
I'll tell you what.
This guy
it's a shame
is so
because
tainted.
I feel so bad for fighters that come in like Layla Ali. And now you got Clarissa Shields and stuff because these are real fighters. These are fighters that can go in there and they're going to knock you out. They're going to go in there and dominate, okay? Now, no one in that ring last night is even half of what Clarissa Shields is right now. Not even half. I mean, they wouldn't last one round with Clarissa Shields.
Clarissa Shields is bigger than that.
I'm talking about talent-wise. I'm talking about talent-wise and knowing the business and knowing how to get in the ring and box like a boxer, okay?
Clarissa Shields is in a class by herself, and
so was Layla Ali, and so was others.
So you're going to compare all the rest of the girls? If they don't beat up to that standard, you're going to say they're bums? Because that's what
I'm not saying they're bums. I'm saying they're not up to the level of professional boxing.
You didn't see that fight as two professional women boxing. You didn't see that.
Well, technically, they were professional boxing.
I'm not saying about that. I'm saying, what did you see?
No, I saw where it's got a long way to go.
Clarissa would dispute that with you. Michaela Meyer would dispute that with you. Marlon Esparza, I could care less. I told you I don't care anything.
Well, they got the same style, man. They look identical.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Identical.
But anyway, you know what? I want you guys to know. I think you see where this is going. He doesn't want to.
He wanted to talk about this on the show because now we don't get a chance to talk about what you want to hear about Triple G, and all that. He wanted to waste all this time talking about some amateur fight. Okay,
they're professionals, world champion. And I think the other women would dispute that with you. They would dispute that conversation.
Yeah, because women hate women boxers. They're not united yet.
Now we're getting to it. He he says all you women boxers hate each other. So
they do.
Okay,
I mean,
just saying.
There's very 10 seconds. Baby.
Yeah, but you know what? We're going to continue in the second segment. We'll come back and we'll talk about the main event which was Gennady Golovkin taking on Boris Martrosian. And then we'll move into some things we talked about. We got some interesting news that we will talk about in the second segment. So refresh your coffee, get your popcorn, because it's going to be on and popping in the second segment. In the meantime, as we always do at Inside Boxing Throwdown,